How we doing tonight? Welcome to my world. Normally I have the camera turned around the opposite way, because I want the viewer to see what I'm seeing. I try to make my videos not about me. I'm just a voice behind the video. But there are times where I'll turn it back around so I can talk a little bit. And first and foremost, I really do appreciate all the comments that people leave and the insight they provide and the inquiries. On top of that, because I never talk about it, but I probably have 40, 50 conversations in private messenger going on at all times. At all times. Sometimes more, rarely less, from people all over the world. And I like it. I really do try to respond to every single person that has a question. And it keeps me busy. So not only am I out in the woods doing my thing out there, trying to make a video, trying to post a video, but also try to answer some of these questions. But it forces me to think about things and give my insight. And first and foremost, none of us have the answers. None of us do. So we're all in this together. We're all just speculating. We're all, some of us are into it more than others. A guy like me, I'm really into it. And some people, this is just an interest, and you can sometimes even tell by the questions. But I figured tonight I would address one of them, because in these private conversations, this comes up a lot, and people ask me, am I doing is this a habituation out here? Is this that kind of scenario? And no, absolutely not. Not at all. So I thought I would share with you some of my conversations I have with Richard about this very thing, because what he's told me and his insight resonates with me. His view on this, and I've applied it. I've 100% applied it because it resonates. I'm like, that's how you do it. That's right on the money. And the first thing he would tell you is you never leave anything out there that's not indigenous to the area. Plain and simple. If they can't get it on their own, you do not leave it. But then you could say, maybe you share the wealth. So if I'm out collecting nuts, edibles, I'm coming back to the cabin and I got a bushel of nuts in my hand, and I grab a pile of that and I put it up there and be like, here's your guys too. That's something they can get on their own. So it's a gift, but it's something that they can just get out on their own. Or maybe I got a bushel of a patch of chanterelles and I'm carrying it back to the cabin, and I grab a handful and I leave some out there for them. It's sharing the wealth. They have a good day fishing out in the pond, and I leave a fish up there on the tree. Sharing the wealth. They get it on their own. It's not introducing something to their diet that they don't already eat or whatever. So that's the first part of this. It has to be indigenous to this area. The second part of this, which I think is extremely important, Richard will tell you, you never gift them anything that they can't outdo or repay. What he means by this, if something's leaving you pine cones, and you take off your Rolex watch and leave that as a gift, how can they ever outdo that? How can they ever repay such a gift? It's almost discouraging. We're trying to open up the lines of communication, but if you're giving them things that they can't never repay you, it's discouraging to them. How do you feel? How do you feel when you give a gift? Makes you feel good, right? How do you feel when you give someone a gift and you look over and you see that they already have the same gift? It's discouraging. We don't want that. We want them to feel good. Maybe, it leaves me some pine cones. I take some pine cones, give him back some pine cones, and he gives me back 2 more than that. That's a fair enough exchange. It doesn't have to be more than that. Another thing that I do is I'm very, very proficient at making cordage out of stuff out around the woods. And a lot of times when I'm hiking, I'll grab bark. And out of habit, I sit there as I'm hiking and I make cordage. And I can make necklaces, I can make bracelets. I can do that in minutes. And a lot of times, if I see something that I think they've done, I might take one of those and I might make a necklace and I'll hang it up on a branch near it. Just saying, it's an acknowledgement. That's all it is. It's like, hey, I see what you did there. I was here. And sometimes those bracelets and stuff that I make disappear. Well, that's not really something an animal's going to eat. It's not something really an animal is going to use. Now, I have thought, maybe a bird. A bird might take that necklace and be like, yeah, I'm making a nest out of this. That's wonderful. I'll give that bird a gift too. If that's where it goes, it's a gift is a gift. But the point being is you don't give them something that they can never repay. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And I'm telling you, with that theory in mind, I've gotten more results than anything else. Even with what I do with my acknowledgments. Eventually what started happening is I would leave an acknowledgement. Hey, I see what you're doing there. Eventually I started getting acknowledgement back to me. Like, yeah, we know you're here. And they would leave something, letting me know that they knew that I was there. And that's how it started. That's how it started. Opening up the lines of communication was very simple stuff like that. Me leaving site. There's another thing I do. I have a signature that I make out in the woods. When I see something of theirs, I'll go over there, I'll make my signature. I just keep on going. Then one day, I walk right out the back here, in my backyard. Something has made my signature. Right here. That is something smart enough saying, hey, we know that was you. We know you by this. And we know where it's coming from. And that blew my mind. That blew my mind. But then it opened up this little playful kind of thing that's turned into what it is now that I'm currently experimenting with. But I always leave them room to outdo me. They're the master, I'm the student. Even if I do a braid or something, I don't do it so intricate. Holy shit. Yeah. That was loud. That's right here around the cabin. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta collect myself. Trying to figure out where that came from. Whew, shit. I think it was on the back side of my cabin. Metal. They know how to get your attention. As scary as that is, I remind myself not to read into it like that. It's getting your attention. Doesn't mean that there's malice behind it. That's what sucks. It's already way past my bedtime. I need to be in bed. I figured I'd make this one last video. And here we are. That was loud. Here's what I'm looking at out there. And just because I heard it back here on the backside of my cabin does not mean that I think it's there right now. I'm going to have to turn this off so I can grab my thermal. I will keep you updated. Take care.